Welcome to Reviews at Scare with Jess and Blair. I'm Jess.
I'm Blair.
Blair, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing?
I am doing very, very well. We are kicking off yet another month of horror movie reviews. And this month is going to be a fun one. For those of you who haven't listened to the selection show this month, we will be showcasing the legendary Tom Savini.
Hell yeah, we are.
Yeah, Tom Savini.
Hell yeah.
We have a cool one to kick off this month, a very cool one. But before we do that, what do you say we chat a little bit about some horror news?
This is horror news.
Blairski, you want to kick this off?
Yeah, I got two things. First and foremost, happy birthday, Jesse.
Oh, stop.
I know it's not today, but
stop.
your birthday was yesterday, so happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you very much, my brother. I am 1 year older. Yesterday had a great day surrounded by a lot of loved ones. So it was a good day. It was a good day.
Good, man. Happy to hear it. Happy to hear it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
My last piece of horror news I have is, Jesse, I just got home from A Quiet Place day one at IMAX. And let me tell you, my brother, excellent. Absolutely excellent.
Yes. I'm so happy to hear it.
I've seen the other two. I've seen the first one twice. I've seen the second one once.
Yeah.
But from what I can remember, this is the best one out of all three, man.
No way.
Yeah. It is front to back, beginning to end, edge of your seat. It is really good, man.
So it is kind of a cool idea. I mean, it is, to my understanding, I mean, you saw it, not me, but it's prequel. It is how it all started, correct?
That is correct. Yeah, it's day one of when the alien monsters land on Earth.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, man.
And right off the bat, it was great. Hey, you really enjoyed it.
It was really good. The theater was absolutely packed.
Of course, opening night,
which you'd love to see. But what made it really awesome is, even though the theater was so packed, it was dead quiet in the theater. Cool. They had the main character come on at the beginning of the movie, just basically saying, like, "Welcome to day one, most important of all, stay quiet." And everyone just listened, and it was a pretty awesome experience, man.
You got to follow the rules.
Got to follow the rules. Yeah, it was a really good one.
I love that. I love that the movie was good, and I love even more that the people watching it were right into it. That's great.
Oh, it was great, man. It was awesome. So definitely check it out if you get the chance to.
Yeah, like you, I've seen the first one a couple of times. I've only seen the second one, I think, once as well.
Yeah, just once.
But a really smart franchise, I guess, now. And a movie that really looking forward to. I can't wait to see it. Yeah. I got a couple pieces of horror news here. A couple months back, I talked about there being news that EC Comics was bringing back the iconic Tales from the Crypt.
That's right.
Many fans were wondering if we'd see the return of the classic hosts like the Crypt Keeper or the Vault Keeper or the Old Witch. And it was announced earlier this week that the OGs of horror will be replaced by a new batch of horror hosts.
Okay.
They include the Gravedigger, the Tormentor, and the Grim Inquisitor. Okay. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've seen pictures of them, and they look excellent.
They look pretty cool.
Yeah, obviously, I've got a couple editions or a couple reprints of the originals, and I really like the Crypt Keeper. I love the Vault Keeper. I love the Old Witch. But the new artist renderings for the Grim Inquisitor, Tormentor, and the Gravedigger look pretty cool, man.
I'm going to have to check them out. I love the Crypt Keeper, obviously.
Of course. Really, really cool stuff, though. And we're expecting the releases right away here. Epitaph from the Abyss. The first title is released coming later this month, July.
Okay.
And then later in August, we'll see another release. I believe it's called Cruel Universe. So 2 releases to end the summer months, which is really, really excellent.
Yeah, right on.
And then finally, we have a trailer. Finally, the much anticipated Robert Eggers' fourth film has a trailer. We talked about it a little bit last episode, but originally played ahead of the new Bike Riders movie. I was expecting it to take weeks. It took one day.
Yeah, the next day.
They officially released it the next day. And I don't know if you watched it, but it is beyond excellent.
You sent it to me, but I haven't clicked it yet.
Oh man, this is a movie that the minute I found out about it, I was just obsessed with seeing it. And seeing the trailer makes me want to see it even more, if that's even possible. If you haven't watched it yet, go and check it out. Release date on this one, December 25th, Christmas Day, 2024.
Christmas Day. Right on.
I will be thinking about it every day up until December 25th, 2024. I cannot wait.
Do you think you'll see that on Christmas Day?
I don't know if I'll see it Christmas Day, but I would love to see it. I'm going to see it in theaters, whether that be Christmas Day, whether it be Boxing Day. It might be a Boxing Day thing.
Yeah, I could see that.
But we will see. We will see. That's all I have for horror news. What do you say we jump into this week's episode? The very first episode in Tom Savini month goes to 1996's From Dusk Till Dawn. Runtime on this one, 1 hour, 48 minutes. Blairski, initial thoughts on the runtime?
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with that runtime.
Yeah, it's we'll get into it later, but it's obviously written by Quentin Tarantino. Portions of the movie maybe feel a little bit long, a little bit wordy, but it's Quentin Tarantino's writing. It all has a purpose. Yeah, right. Before we get into likes and dislikes, let's chat a little bit about some fun facts.
Fun facts. Facts that are fun.
Blairski, you got some fun facts from Dusk Till Dawn?
Yeah, I do. So there is a prequel and a sequel to this movie. Okay. Both were straight to video and received very poorly by critics. But fun fact on that is Danny Trejo is the only actor to appear in all three of them.
I'm not surprised. He has a great working relationship with Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah, he really does. Yeah, he's in so many of his movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
This was apparently Quentin Tarantino's first paid writing assignment, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I read he made like 15. I think he wrote the script for $15,000 or something like that.
And then probably got paid extra for the acting, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Yeah.
Final fun fact I have here is Salma Hayek is actually so afraid of snakes that she had to be hypnotized during her dancing scene with the massive python around her neck.
Yeah, insane.
Which is pretty wild, yeah.
I also read she spent like 2 months with therapists to try and overcome the fear.
Just to prepare herself for it. Yeah, that's wild, man.
Oh, just wild. I've got a couple here. Quentin Tarantino originally set to direct the movie, decided not to. Would have been interesting to see his directorial take on this.
Yeah, no kidding.
I thought this was really, really cool, and it's very much for all you Tarantino freaks out there. But the fast food bag that Seth brings into the motel has a big Kahuna Burger logo on it.
Yeah.
Which, of course, if you're familiar with any of Quentin Tarantino's work, it's a fast food chain that he invented in his universe. Yeah. Big Kahuna Burger. Apparently George Clooney was not, or before he was cast as Seth Gecko, the actors vying for the role included Antonio Banderas.
Okay.
Steve Buscemi.
Okay.
Michael Madsen.
Yeah.
Tim Roth, John Travolta, Christopher Walken, Jeff Goldblum, James Woods, and Robert De Niro. So basically, like every actor.
Names, man.
Yeah, which is like, again, very Tarantino-esque, even though he didn't direct this one, but it's very like, let's get the biggest stars possible interested in this movie, and one of them will bite.
Yeah. But I don't think George Clooney was that big at this time.
No, I think he had just come off of really doing ER, which he did 1 billion episodes in.
Yeah.
Which is also really cool, from him going from saving a bunch of lives to ending a bunch of lives. Them, yeah. We'll get into it later. George Clooney, while we're on topic, was apparently paid $250,000 for the movie. That's all I have for likes and dislikes. Let's chat about the fine folks who worked on the film, and there are a lot of them. Of course, directed by Robert Rodriguez, also directed 2010's Machete, 2007's Planet Terror, 2005's Sin City, 2003's Once Upon a Time in Mexico, 2001's Spy Kids, and is directing the upcoming Machete Kills in Space.
No kidding. You're joking.
Yes, sir. No, I am not.
You're joking.
No, I am not. I mean, it just screams Grindhouse.
Well, does it ever?
I love it. This one written by Robert Kurtzman, also wrote 1995's The Demolitionist. And of course, Quentin Tarantino wrote Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Inglourious Bastards, Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, Death Proof, Jackie Brown, True Romance, Reservoir Dogs. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. Yeah. Starring, this is a big cast, massive cast, huge stars. George Clooney as Seth Gecko, starred in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? 2009's Fantastic Mr. Fox, 2001's Ocean's 11, 1997's Batman and Robin, 108 episodes of ER, and in a plethora of Nespresso commercials. Also starred, of course, Quentin Tarantino as Richie Gecko, also starred in Django Unchained, 2000's Little Nicky, 1994's Pulp Fiction, and 1992's Reservoir Dogs. Also starring Juliette Lewis as Kate. Also starred in 2009's Whip It, 2003's Old School, 1995's The Basketball Diaries, 1994's Natural Born Killers, 1991's Cape Fear, 1989's National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and in a plethora of Old Navy commercials. Also starring the true badass Harvey Keitel as Jacob, starred in Reservoir Dogs, The Grand Budapest Hotel, Moonrise Kingdom, Sister Act, Thelma and Louise, 1976's Taxi Driver, 1973's Mean Streets, and as Judas in The Last Temptation of Christ, which I believe he won a Razzie Award for. And then, of course, also starring Ernest Leo as Scott, Selma Hayek as Santanico Pandemonium, Cheech Moran, Danny Trejo, Fred Williamson, Michael Parks, and the one and only Tom Savini as Sex Machine.
What a great name.
Synopsis for 1996's From Dusk Till Dawn, courtesy of our dear friends at I Am a DB. Two criminals and their hostages unknowingly seek temporary refuge in a truck stop populated by vampires, with chaotic results. It just sounds a little bit AI generated, maybe.
Chaotic results.
I do like with the chaotic results.
Yeah,
it's not much of a truck stop. It's a strip joint.
It's a straight dive bar,
in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, absolutely. Not much of a truck stop.
No.
This leads us to one of our favorite segments of the show, Kill Count.
Kill Count. The time of the show we count the kills.
Blarsky, I imagine this is going to be a very large kill count. What do we got for kill count?
Yeah, you'd be imagining, right, man? So it's an absolute bloodbath, this movie.
Yeah.
We have a total kill count of 145. Wow. That's 70 humans, 75 vampires. And here's the fun fact about the kill count. With a runtime of 108 minutes and a total of 145 kills, that means we have an average of a kill every 44.69 seconds.
But who's counting, right?
Who's counting?
Wow, that is a large amount of deaths, and I'm not surprised.
No, not at all.
With who directed it, who wrote it, I'm not surprised at all. This leads us into likes and dislikes. Likes, dislikes, likes, dislikes, and everything in between. The portion of the show where we talk about what we liked, what we didn't like, and everything in between. Blarsky, why not start with the kills?
They were great. The kills were great. All of them. They were unique. They were funny in a sense. They were great.
Yeah, they're over the top. They're entertaining. Like you said, they're great. They're unique. Each one it felt different. It didn't get stale. They're really using their imagination when trying to figure out how to kill these vampires.
Apparently they were like stuck filming inside for the first, I'm not even sure the amount of time, at least the first week, if not longer.
Oh, God.
Because there was some sort of strike happening outside. So they couldn't go out to the picket lines. I don't know. There's a whole documentary on this that I didn't look into, but there was some issues with the filming of this movie in regards to the unions and stuff.
Crossing the picket lines.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So at the first little bit, they were stuck doing all their shoots inside. So they got very creative with.
I was going to say, I can only imagine how bad that place smelled after a week of filming and the heat and the dry blood and I can only imagine how disgusting that place was.
Right.
I mean, this movie, we say it almost every episode, we're intro guys, and this intro, again, even though he didn't direct it, had Tarantino written all over it.
It totally did.
It immediately reminded me of the opening of Pulp Fiction with the scene between Pumpkin and Honey Bun, where it was this completely harmless conversation, but there was a completely different scenario playing out
kind of in the background,
the exact same time without people knowing.
Yeah.
I love it. It's a perfect setting, perfect way to start off the movie.
You know what, man? This is almost a tale of two movies, to be honest with you. The first half of the movie is completely different from the second half of the movie. Once they get to the titty twisters, the movie just kind of does a 180 flip on itself. It just becomes something totally else.
I agree. I mean, it's an hour and 48 minutes. It doesn't become a traditional horror movie until they're even like 10 minutes into the titty twister bar.
Yeah.
I mean, up until then, it's just like a really good crime caper.
Yeah, it is. It's, two convicts on the run, right?
Yeah, two bank robbers.
Kind of reminded me of The Devil's Rejects just a little bit.
Totally. They're on the lam, they take hostages, and it's, they are not expecting, as I think the most of us aren't expecting. I imagine the first time watching this movie, you could be totally shocked that, over halfway through, vampires just show up.
Yeah.
Because you're not ready for it at all. They don't build it up like there's going to be any kind of supernatural happenings.
No.
It just seems like it's just going to be like kind of your traditional Tarantino crime caper.
Yeah.
And then vampires enter the bar.
Yeah. And just chaos. Just the most craziest chaos, man.
Yeah. 100%. 100%.
Being Tom Savini month, we need to talk about how badass Tom Savini was in this movie.
Complete vampire hunting badass.
Oh, he was so good, man. He was so good.
One of the most unique weapons of all time, or at least that I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
It is, I don't even know what you would call it. It's a pocket pistol.
It's like a crotch shot or something.
A crotch shot. Yeah. It is just a pistol right at his groin. And it's just perfectly placed, and it's very hilarious and super efficient.
I wonder, I didn't really see, I wonder how he fires it.
I think you just have to thrust. I think it fires under a single thrust. You can tell he just had a ton of fun with the character of Sex Machine.
Yeah, he did.
I loved his interaction, and it was very brief, but I love his interaction with Juliette Lewis's character, Kate, where they're introducing each other, and he introduces himself as Sex Machine.
Great name.
And it's just such a passing thing. He doesn't make a big deal about it, but that's his name.
Yeah.
It's like he was born with that name. I thought it was really, really sweet.
It's so good, man.
I thought he was... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, when he turns to, all the makeup, which we'll get to in a little bit here, I'm sure.
Fantastic.
All the makeup was fantastic. But when Tom Savini turns, it looks so badass. He looks so cool.
Yeah, he changes into some kind of giant hellhound / rat thing.
Yeah, it's like a giant rat.
It's so excellent. And again, it's so unique from the rest of the makeup that is happening in that moment, because there's a lot of it.
Yeah, there is.
There's a lot of makeup. There's a lot of special effects. And it's like, okay, how can we top it? Because Sex Machine is already this big, outlandish character. How can we even make him more outlandish? And it's, oh, that's simple. Turn him into this hellhound rat thing.
The biggest, most disgusting looking thing in that place.
It's pretty excellent. And it's pretty disgusting. While we're on that topic, let's chat a little bit about the rest of the makeup and special effects in this one.
They were really good. They were very 90s, very of its time. All the vampires kind of reminded me of the same vampires from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
100%. Yeah.
Very, very similar design of makeup, but still great nonetheless. It was really good.
Yeah, there's a lot that they play with the special effects. I mean, the vampire that swallows the crucifix is something that comes to my head right away.
Yeah.
Even the band playing the human guitar. I thought that was one of the coolest bits of the whole movie. They were just, again, it goes back to, you could tell they had a ton of fun during these moments, during the special effects moments being as crazy as possible.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, I agree. I feel like the makeup is maybe a little bit dated now.
It is for sure, but it's still
I think awesome. It just makes it really, really fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
With how, and again, it's unique. Every vampire character is different.
Yeah.
I mean, and they really showcases, especially once they start turning into vampires. I mean, there's a giant fight scene that goes on and on and on and on. But I didn't want to look away because I felt like each cut, there was something new to look at.
There was. And when each character died and then turned, each character was unique in the way they turned into a vampire.
Yeah,
it was pretty awesome. Like each person, something kind of a little different would happen to them.
Absolutely. What did you think of I mean, we talked about the massive cast in this movie. What did you think of the acting?
The acting was good, man. I like George Clooney. Quentin Tarantino played his role perfectly. He was really creepy.
Yeah, both of them together, they're like super despicable characters.
Yeah, to be honest, I would actually watch a crime movie of just the two of them on the run and
on a caper.
I would watch a movie like that. They were so good.
Yeah, I thought Tarantino was fine. I mean, he's not primarily known for an actor, obviously, but especially with the heavyweights that he was acting alongside, I think he did fine.
Yeah.
The big one for me was Harvey Keitel. I'm a huge Harvey Keitel fan.
Well, he's great. Yeah.
I mean, Harvey Keitel wins the award for like absolute badass. He's just the coolest guy.
I was pretty upset that, spoiler alert, he doesn't make it.
Yeah, it's but I mean, he goes out swinging.
He does, yeah. He's pretty
goes
badass.
Out swinging. He knows it's not going to end well for himself. But yeah, I thought the cast. I mean, how could you? I mean, this movie was casted perfectly, and like a little outrageously. I'm surprised that half of these actors would want to be in this movie, but they killed it.
And then you've got Cheech Marin, who plays 3 different characters in this movie, man.
Yeah, absolutely. You got Danny Trejo being Danny Trejo. Yeah, it was great. I mean, all I have to say, I mean, Selma Hayek dance scene, enough said.
Yeah, that's infamous, man. Everyone knows that scene. If anything, everyone knows that scene.
It's the most iconic moment from the movie, and rightfully so. So. It's a great scene. Also, the band in the bar was great. Very kick-ass.
When they're playing, like, when all the hell's going loose and they're playing the human instruments, they just kind of like sign off. I can't remember what they say, but they just kind of blow themselves up.
I've got it in Line of the Night.
I bet you do. Okay.
Yeah, don't you worry. I don't have much else to say in likes and dislikes. All in all, I thought it was good. I thought the horror aspects of the movie kick in. When they kick in, it was absolutely fantastic. It maybe just took a little bit too long to get to the vampire stuff.
Mm-hmm, it did.
But at the same time, that was okay because the first part of the movie was also just as enjoyable. Like you said, it was 2 different movies, both really enjoyable in their own way.
Yeah, I agree.
Anything you really didn't like about this one?
Nothing I've got really written down. There was some use of CGI, which, wasn't the greatest, but there's way more practical effects used. So not even a big
Definitely a
deal.
lot more practical for sure. Yeah. Let's move right along, shall we?
Let's do it.
This leads us to one of our favorite segments of the show, lessons we learned from watching a 1996's From Dusk Till Dawn.
Lessons we learned from watching. Insert title of movie here.
The segment of the show where we talk about the valuable life lessons we learned from watching said movie Blairski. Did you learn a single thing from watching From Dusk Till Dawn?
Well, the first thing is if your psychotic brother has a history of sexual assaults and murder, maybe it's best not to leave him alone in a room with, well, anybody, but your one and only female hostage.
Yeah, just an awful character.
It's so bad, man.
Such a creep. Such a creep.
And going off that, him playing an absolute creep and possibly being an absolute creep, I learned the complete extent of Quentin Tarantino's foot fetish, and it's fucking weird, man. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, we had chatted about this during Calgary HorrorCon.
Yeah, we did.
It sounded like it maybe wasn't something that you were completely aware of, but the more you pay attention, the more you notice that there are feet everywhere.
And boy, in this movie, were there ever. I swear there's this one point where Selma Hayek literally sticks her foot in his mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Weird, man.
Weird. To each their own, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess.
I learned a few things here. If you grind your teeth, wear a mouth guard. Something that I'm trying to do. Also, your standard HB pencil works perfectly as an improvised wooden stake whilst one is vampire hunting. More weapon stuff. I also learned water guns and condoms filled with holy water are also a necessity when facing off a horde of drunken vampires. Vampire's worst enemy is a disco ball in sunlight.
Yeah. I think takes them all out.
Yeah. And then finally, I mentioned it briefly earlier, but if you're to look up the definition of badass in the dictionary, it would have a picture of Harvey Keitel, aka Mr. Cool, next to it. Yeah. This is definitely not his coolest character that he's played, but he just oozes cool.
It is a pretty cool character.
Yeah. Okay, this leads us to one of our favorite segments of the show, Line of the Night.
Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night.
The segment of the show where we discuss our favorite lines from the movie. They might give us chills. They might give us the giggles. All we know is that they are our favorites, Blairski.
Yeah, buddy.
What do you got for Line of the Night?
I got a few. This first one's a little long, so bear with me.
Sure.
It's said by Santanico Pandemonium for Selma Hayek to Seth, also George Clooney. She says, I'm not going to drain you completely. You're going to turn from me. You'll be my slave. You'll live for me. You'll eat bugs because I order it. Why? Because I don't think you're worthy of human blood. You'll feed on the blood of stray dogs. You'll be my footstool and at my command. You'll lick the dog shit from my boot heel. Since you'll be my dog, your new name will be Spot. Welcome to slavery. To which Seth replies, no thanks, I've already had a wife.
Yeah.
I thought that was absolutely great.
Oh, goodness. That's a great line.
Next one, Carlos asks, so what are they, psychos or... And then Seth replies, did they look like psychos? Is that what they look like? They were vampires. Psychos do not explode when sunlight hits them. I don't give a fuck how crazy they are.
Yeah.
Which I thought was great. I loved how Seth the whole time was just like, I don't believe in vampires. Vampires don't exist.
Even though he sees it all happening.
I know what I'm seeing with my eyes. I love
that. I know they're vampires, but they don't exist.
But they don't exist.
Yeah.
My final line of the night is between Kate and Richie. Kate goes, where are you taking us? Richie says, Mexico. Kate says, what's in Mexico? To which Richie replies, Mexicans.
Fair enough.
He's not wrong.
Fair enough. I've got quite a few lines here. Jacob, or Harvey Keitel, says, out of the stew pot and into the fire, which I really liked. Seth said, I never said do what I do. I said do what I say, which I think is a great line. Selma Hayek says, let's see if you taste as good as your brother, which is great.
Yeah.
Here's the house band line that we were talking about. They say, fuck you, everybody. Good night.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
It's great. Yeah.
Rock on.
To which Tom Savini, as Sex Machine, responds, now let's kill that fucking band.
Yeah.
Which is great. And then finally, Seth says one of the coolest lines in the movie. He says, are you a fearless preacher or a mean motherfucking servant of God?
Hell yeah.
Great line. That's a
line.
That's a very Tarantino line.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. This leads us to our final segment of the night. Some might say even our favorite.
Quite possibly.
It's in my top 5.
It's up there.
Celebrity lookalike time.
Celebrity lookalike time.
The time of the show where we take a look at the cast and discuss their celebrity doppelgangers. Spoiler alert, it usually comes down to the character's hairstyle. Blairski.
Yeah, buddy.
What do you got for celebrity lookalike time?
I've just got 2 here. The character Jacob Fuller.
Yeah.
Big time reminded me of John Hammond from Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
And finally, the character Seth, obviously played by George Clooney, reminded me of a young Joshua Jackson, who's probably best known for his starring role in Dawson's Creek, minus the fake tattoos, of course.
Wait, was he also not Charlie Conway in Mighty Ducks?
He was indeed. He was indeed.
Minus the neck tattoos.
Yeah, minus the tattoos for sure.
I've got a couple here, both in honor of our a guest of honor, I guess, for the month, Mr. Tom Savini. I thought he reminded me of Derek Small, aka Harry Shearer's character in the comedy classic This Is Spinal Tap.
Okay, I haven't seen that.
It comes down to the leather, the hair, and the mustache for sure.
As it usually does.
Also, Tom Savini with the whip just reminded me he was giving off major Indiana Jones energy.
He was.
Tom Savini's great.
Tom Savini's good.
This leads us to our final rating for 1996's From Dusk Till Dawn. Blairski, what are you giving From Dusk Till Dawn out of 5 Tom Savini wielding penis pistols out of 5?
I mean, I love this movie. I've seen it many times. I kind of grew up with it. I'm going to give it 3.5 Tom Savini wielding penis pistols out of 5.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. 3.5 Tom Savini wielding penis pistols out of 5. It was great. It was fun. A lot of fun. Yeah. I think for me, again, I keep bringing up Tarantino and I keep bringing up, whatever. But I think with him writing it, I was just maybe expecting a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it was great. It was great. And Tom Savini was, loved it.
He was my favorite character. Not only just because it's Tom Savini month, it's just he was very much a standout character in this movie.
Really, really good. Yeah. And I think this was a perfect film to start or to kick off this month with.
I totally agree.
It makes me even more excited for the rest of the month. We've got some great films coming up. Blair, I know you have a poll going on right now to decide what we're doing for our watch party. So go and vote. We want to hear from you guys. We want to hear what you want to do for a watch party.
A couple of the social medias, you can only have like a day or two of the poll. So those have already closed. So
never mind.
The one on X or Twitter.
Yeah.
That's still good to go for about 5 more days. It's a week long. So you can vote on that one.
You have a week from June 27th. So get on there.
That's right.
Really excited for that. Really excited for the rest of the month. But until we watch the rest of the movies, this has been Reviews That Scare with Jess and Blair. I'm Jess.
I'm Blair. Remember to stay scary.
And eat every sandwich. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for listening to Reviews That Scare.
make sure you check out our Linktree at linktree/reviewsetscare. That's linktr.ee/reviewsetscare, which has links to our Instagram, YouTube, Patreon, Twitch, and many other things. If you'd like to email us, you can reach us at reviewsetscare@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and remember to stay scary and eat every sandwich.
A proud member of Pod Nation TV.